Good morning, everyone. We are still at the Grand Canyon.
Getting ready to take off. We're going to out via Cameron.
So let's see the view. This is the grand view, and it is definitely grand. You can see the temple. You can see the colors from the different minerals in the rock, as well as the Colorado. Incredible view. Leaving from the east exit gives you some amazing views. Just another dose of beautiful as we made our way to Zion. Moran Point, obviously very windy this morning. It's 57 miles from the Grand Canyon Village to Cameron, and you find you're gaining elevation as you drive, and gaining more elevated views as well. And if you don't want to drive yourself and you want more in-depth experience, there are tour groups like the Pink Jeep Tours to take for about $100 per person. Just one of the great ways to see the views and learn more about this wonderful park. As we pulled into the last big overlook, Navajo Point, we saw one of those guys. This woman was hanging out at the very edge of the canyon with her arms outstretched like a flying squirrel. In the windy weather, we were just waiting for her to go over. Don't be that guy. Be this guy who stays behind the guardrail and just enjoys the amazing views. We made it to the Desert View Tower, where we found out that there's a bit of a hike down to the tower, but there are restrooms near the parking lot. We didn't have time to take the hike, but we'll make time on our next visit. The drive out is beautiful, with almost aerial views of the canyon all along the way to Cameron. If you were looking for gas by this point, Cameron has you covered, and the rates were only a tiny bit inflated. We filled up and went looking for food and found the Cameron Trading Post. It's super windy here. Other than the wind, we found the trading post filled with lots of wonderful stuff, a really beautiful dining room, and good food. I'd go back for the fry bread alone. The classic cars that pulled in as we pulled out were just a bonus. Views from Cameron up to the Marble Canyon were strange and beautiful. If you're having fun discovering all of these strange and wonderful views with us, go ahead and bop that like button, and we do hope you will follow along. Even with the wind and blowing sand, we could see the terrain begin to change into these multi-layered cliffs and buttes. And then we saw the wildflowers. Carpets of desert globe mallow flowers line the highway. It's always stunning to see so many wildflowers in the desert. I'm not sure how popular this route up Highway 89 is for most travelers, since there were hardly any cars on it, but the views were spectacular. It seems to be the shortest route between the two parks, and we highly recommend going into Zion this direction, even if it's just to see the views from the Navajo Bridge. So I'm going to try this. This is Navajo Bridge, right past the Vermilion Cliffs.
No, we're not to Vermilion Cliffs.
Oh, we're not to Vermilion Cliffs yet. We're on our way, and we just had to show you it's so gorgeous. It's just amazing. Marble Canyon is part of the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area, and you can see where the Grand Canyon begins here. Just a bit north from the Navajo Bridge is Lee's Ferry, where many of the river rafting trips of the Grand Canyon begin. and Lee's Ferry used to be one of the only places to cross the Colorado before the Navajo Bridge was built in 1925. Originally named the Grand Canyon Bridge, it was renamed in 1934 due to being on Navajo land. The first span closed in 1995 when the new updated span was opened, but the old span is still open for foot traffic, which, since these spans are tied for the 9th tallest at 467 and 470 feet respectively, it made for a thrilling trip across.
Sleeping in your backseat, you were singing badly. We both know you had me. We were shifting seas, taking back.
It is really windy out here. I don't know if you're gonna hear me or not, but this is so cool.
This is the Cliff Dwellers Stonehouse roadside attraction. It was built by Blanche and Bill Russell after they broke down in the middle of the desert during the Depression. They initially built their house from tar paper and boards. From there, it developed into a trading post, then a restaurant and gas station. Although ownership has changed through the decades, the unique stop is an easy roadside must-see along Route 89. We were simply blown away by these huge boulders. Incredible. Vermilion Cliffs National Monument is a stunning sight to see, but you will need a four-wheel drive to explore this area. This is where the famous wave is located, and you have to have a permit to hike out to it. Thank you to our friends Marissa and Nathan from Less Junk, More Journey. We'll put the link to their video of the wave in the description below.
Hey everybody, we're getting ready to sign off for today.
It was just a long drive day. We messed around a lot.
Yeah, my favorite part of today was actually the Navajo Bridge.
I'm finding it hard to choose. I love the boulders. I loved the color of the minerals in the buttes, the wildflowers. It was a pretty incredible day, but a really windy one.
Yeah, the wind was blowing hard all day long everywhere we were. It was pretty impressive, actually.
At this point in the recording process, I have no idea if you were able to hear us or not. But for tonight, we're going to sign off.
We'll see you in Zion tomorrow.
We started our day off in St. George with a trip to Pink Box Donuts. No competition for our own Gonzales Valley donuts, but definitely fun.
Hey, good morning, everybody. On our way to Zion this morning, and the drive up here is spectacular once you get past Hurricane. It is really pretty. I don't know, I mean, the green is just outstanding. I don't think every year it'll be this green at this time of the year, but we get to enjoy it. You get to enjoy it this year, that's for sure.
So welcome to Zion.
After our sign selfie, we took a right to hit the visitor center. You can catch a shuttle bus, hang out in the large courtyards, fill up your water bottle before hitting the trailhead, get your park stamp and extra maps, as well as tour the very interesting museum part of the center. There you will find out about the indigenous peoples from the area, as well as the plants and animals within the park boundaries. There's even information about the park system itself, what it does, its goals, and challenges. We are always trying to learn more about our national parks, the people who live there, the animals who make that their home. And the visitor centers are the perfect places to do this. And don't forget to talk to a park ranger. They have so many insider tidbits. You don't want to miss out on that. The cottonwood trees are beautiful, but filled with web-spinning moths. The kind that creeped me out.
Well, if you can see the spots on my glasses, you'll know it's raining. This time of year is considered a shoulder season, and the weather can change in less than 15 minutes. Let's go see some more.
Okay, folks, so we're going to be sort of just driving through today. Right now, most of the trails are closed, actually, and it's an hour-long wait for the shuttle. So we don't want to take the time to wait for the shuttle, so especially in the rain. So we're going to drive through, stop and see what we can, and go from there.
Zion National Park has a long and varied history, beginning with several tribes living on this land as far back as 7,000 years ago. Part of this area was named a national monument in 1909, more still in 1918, and finally in 1919, the entirety was named Zion National Park.
So the Zion Lodge is on the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive, and you can only get there with the shuttle bus. So I guess we're not going to see the lodge this time either. Oh well, gotta have something to do next time we come, right?
Not only is the lodge only accessible by shuttle bus in the summer, but that is also the route you take to get to the Angel's Landing hike, as well as the famous Narrows hike. Angel's Landing requires a permit, and one of the directions of the Narrows requires one too. So if you want to do either of those strenuous hikes, you will want to make sure you have the necessary permits first. Ancient Hebrew, Zion means sanctuary or refuge. With 232 acres of seemingly endless Navajo sandstone canyons and formations, and the Virgin River and Pine Creek weaving their way through, it's easy to see that it matches the name.
We were captured by that arch in the forming. You can see where the rocks just dropped off the face.
Hey folks, and here you go. Here's another pro tip that I think works for about any trip you're going to take. Pack your patience.
So as we showed you the sign earlier, large vehicles like RVs can go through the tunnel. You just pay that extra fee, and then they actually stop traffic on both sides while they measure you, make sure you're going to fit. Right now we have an Airstream trying to go through. It's not a big one, so I don't think that's going to be a problem, but you may have to end up waiting in line a bit.
It's also easy to see why most visitors spend their time in the western part of the park, since there's so much to do in that area. But we wanted to head through the Mount Carmel tunnel and tour as much of this park as we could in one day. And a shout out to the rangers who stood out in the rain to make sure everyone got through the tunnel safely and quickly. Mount Carmel Tunnel opened in 1930 with the goal of making a connection between the Grand Canyon, Zion, and Bryce Canyon National Parks. It is also what connects the two parts of Zion. Exiting the tunnel, it was startling how different the terrain was between the west and east sides of the park. Even on a rainy day, it took our breath away. No one ever tells you about this. They always talk about Angel Landing or the Narrows, but never about the two sides of the park. Here the rock seemed even more red-orange in color and the layers even more pronounced. I'm fascinated that the flowers and trees can grow right out of the rock face. It was one of our favorite stops of the day, and even Wendy got in on the play.
We are completely tripped out by the structure of the rocks here. Layer and layer, like they've been whipped up. Like cards being shuffled together. So cool. All right, through another tunnel. Okay, I do not like tunnels. The last one was a mile. This one's just a little bit. At least I can see on the other side. I'm going to share it with you, of course.
You have me, and I have you. That's enough to paint lonesome black and blue. Yeah, I have you, and you have me. That puts a bow up in the sky that tells the rain to cease. We've had up, and we've had down. We've had warm nights, we've gone round and round. What I know, this much is true. There ain't a color in the rainbow that shines like you. So let's carve our names into this tree.
Oh man, I can see why Zion is on everybody's bucket list. Wait till I show you this view.
We're strong as a maple, twice as sweet. We've had ups and we've had downs. We've had warm nights, we've gone round and round. What I know, this much is true. There ain't a tree with any leaf that roots me like you. I've gone east, west, inward and out. For me, I know this much is true. There ain't a single direction that don't point to you.
And then we found it. Our favorite stop of the day. Our own little mini wave. Not anywhere as big or majestic as the one in the Vermilion Cliffs, but this one just made us giddy. We were like kids exploring every bit we could reach while trying to be ever so careful not to damage the formations. The formations look like a rising wave due to the many layers of colored sandstone that are carried there by the wind and then shaped even more by all of the elements.
So this very cool wave-like rock formation is completely accessible. There is a pullout. If you go to the middle of the pullout, it looks like there's a steep drop down, and if you're not able, you're gonna think you can't come in. Go all the way to the end of the pullout, and there's an easy walk down, so everybody can access this incredible place.
That we have no idea exactly where it is. It's about a mile past the restrooms that were after the other side of the tunnel.
And I'm sure that gives you a lot of help, but you can't miss it. The formations are amazing.
Really cool.
It was just so much fun to explore. And right on the side of the road. Simply breathtaking. With this little wave and then the checkerboard mesa and all the views, we just can't encourage you to visit the eastern side of the tunnel enough.
Okay, everyone, that was it. We just left the east gate. It's not a long drive from the south to the east, but as you saw, there's plenty to see. Even though we weren't able to go do the Narrows, not that we were ever in danger of really hiking the Narrows.
Well, we would have hiked in and came back out. We weren't going to do the whole thing. That would be crazy for us. But it was a great time, and it's a great drive. And there's lots to see, even if you're not hiking the Narrows. So highly recommend it, even if you can't hike or don't have the time to hike it. Because it's a 30-mile, I mean, it's a big hike. So you can make it as long or as short as you need to. But like I said, today it was closed. A little bit of rain kind of messed us up. And the funny thing is, some of the tributaries had water and some didn't. But you could see that the water had just been through. So I see why they closed it.
But we've had a great day today. Just heading towards Bryce Canyon now. Don't know what else today is going to bring us, but we're going to check on out here. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Just outside the park, we found this. Probably domesticated bison. But how beautiful.
The Thunderbird restaurant caught our eye as we got to the junction, but it was the sign that got us to stop. And yes, I got the t-shirt and the magnet.
All right, this was the best place. 5 out of 5. The food was great. The people were great.
4.9. We don't give 5.
So seriously, outside Zion, on the way to Bryce, at the 9 and 89 junction is the Thunderbird.
As we turned off the 89 and onto the 12, we got this huge surprise, Red Canyon. It would give us our first hoodoos and taste of Bryce Canyon National Park. Sadly, we were there too late to go into the visitor center, but we'll be back for further exploration the next time we are in the area. Thanks for hanging out with us in Zion National Park. Leave a comment below telling us which area we visited that was your favorite. If you haven't subscribed yet, we do hope you will smash that button and follow along as we explore Bryce Canyon National Park and the rest of the mighty Utah 5.